Welcome back to the Live with Grace podcast, where we discuss sports, lessons, and life as athletes, professionals, creators, dreamers, and leaders. I'm Grace Byer, and I'm your host, and I'm so happy you're here. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Live with Grace podcast. Today, I'm on the podcast with a very special guest.
Hello, I'm Brilan McCory. I'm a senior on the Roosevelt Women's basketball team.
And you're graduating
this year, but I'll be doing my master's next year, and I will play one more year of basketball.
Awesome. So we'll be playing our last year together next year. So,
yeah, I'm so excited.
Not yay, but it's the last year. But
yeah,
that we'll still be playing together. So how are you feeling going into senior year?
I'm feeling good. I'm definitely very motivated to come back because of my season-ending injury this year. Mm-hmm. So it's more like I'm very locked in, want to go out with a bang because I was debating on coming back in the first place. And then I was like, I really don't like the way I went out. So I want to come back and play with the people that I've really enjoyed playing with out of all basketball. This has definitely been the best team. So it wasn't more so that was ooh, should I come back because of that? It was more I have some revenge, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So for those that didn't know or aren't familiar with Brilan or didn't follow the team and things that happened, she completely tore her hamstring in November.
Yeah.
We were playing a team called Governor's State, and she was driving into a fall and someone fell on top.
Yeah, it was very, very weird. Very weird how it happened.
Just got put in a really compromised position, I'd say. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of uncertainty at first with what happened. For sure. So how was that navigating that?
Yeah. So when I first did the injury, it was more okay, yeah, I definitely just did something very bad. And I knew I did, but when I went into the training room, the guy is thinking it's my sciatic nerve. Meanwhile, we're at a different school. So it's I don't really even trust this person in the first place. But I'm well, he's here for a reason. So I'm letting him do his thing. He told me it was my sciatic nerve. You're good. Just stay calm. Do. Then he starts pulling on my leg. And I'm no. I can't do that. And then he was if you would just calm down, we'll figure it out. And then it was just I seriously cannot. So then I was gonna go to the hospital and get it checked out. But then there was a huge long wait list, and I'm already in so much pain. Just my parents took me back to the school. So then I wake up the next morning and I go to the doctor's office and get an MRI. Meanwhile, I'm telling the doctor my pain is on my back. I mean my hamstring area. Well, when he does the MRI, he does everything on my back. Mm-hmm. So I get my results back and it's good. And I'm okay, cool. But then a couple of weeks go by and I get informed oh, you'll be back in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. You still were in a lot of pain.
Oh yeah. I could not sit. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do any of that. It was so bad. So then a couple of weeks go by. I'm talking to my parents because it was my sister's birthday. And I was something's wrong. I know, it's not my back. At this point, it would, start feeling, no, it was actually an excruciating pain. So then I go back to the doctor, get another MRI on my hamstring this time. And I get the results back, and it's you completely tore your hamstring. There's nothing left. Mm-hmm. So I was oh wow, that was definitely hurt because I had everybody telling me, oh, it's just your sciatic nerve, 3 weeks, do, So it was just wow, I was stuck. I didn't know what to do, what to say, no way, this just happened to me,
And I think there's definitely something to be said for that intuition that you had about your own body, because I think sometimes we lose sight of that. We have people even not injury wise, but just as an athlete, if you have somebody telling you this is what you're supposed to do or this is what it is, that's just what it is.
Yeah, and and that's what I was doing. Everybody, the doctor even kept calling the trainers will you please tell her to trust us? And I'm in my head, I'm they're making me feel dumb, So it was just like a lot. Like it was very like it took me about 2.5 weeks to figure out I even tore my hamstring after the injury.
Which is insane.
Insane.
With you being like, I've never seen Brilan in that much pain.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Like at least an hour after the game, you were still like in tears of pain, which is understandable once you learn that you completely like. There's three parts.
There's three tendons that attach to your butt cheek, and all three of mine completely ripped right off.
Yeah, which is like.
I know.
Tense up just
no, same.
Because anyone that I know in the sports like science area, they talk about hamstring strain.
Oh
maybe you tear one, maybe partial. It doesn't even come up.
Yeah, even the guy that did my surgery was like, "How did you even do this?" Yeah. Like I've never he says he's never seen this. If it is, it's more a football injury.
Yeah.
So I'm like. It was just very, a lot of news coming on me. And then, the doctors saying, this stuff, wow, this is crazy. It was just, very frustrating, that would happen to me. And I've also never been injured. So it was, it was a lot,
Yeah, you'd never, gotten your feet wet in that area. Mm-hmm. You had to be, drowned.
I was drowning. Yeah, I was. And then having to be home for a whole month sitting on a couch too, right after surgery, it was a lot. And
then not to blame anyone, but I've also been in that situation one time before where it was the second time I tore my ACL and somebody told me it's not torn.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's not torn, but deep in my heart, I'm like, it felt the same.
No, literally.
I don't know about this one.
Literally.
And then it comes back and it was a partial near complete tear. It was basically hanging on by a string. So sometimes you just gotta trust your gut, but sometimes it's the balance of being optimistic. And
I feel we're both very people that don't want to we don't want to sit out. We're gonna go until we
if I can go, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
If I'm swollen, if I'm bruised, if I'm
I rolled my ankle so bad in Butler, and I'm tape it up.
No, next day. If it's an ankle, I'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on something.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, I thought it was something that we aligned.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, and that does not to take away from the approach of let me let my body heal, because I think there's definitely something to that. But when it comes to me, it's hard. If I'm there, it's hard to coast, and it's hard to be there halfway.
Yeah.
Because I'm hurting.
And I feel mine is almost too if I'm hurting, I'm am I in pain or am I just sore?
Am I sore?
Because
if it's sore,
you gotta fight through it. Yeah, you gotta fight through it.
It doesn't mean I'm not taking care of myself. But if I almost need someone to tell me, Grace, you need to chill today.
Yeah.
For me to feel.
And I feel you're learning that though.
Yeah.
Especially during postseason, I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah. So that's definitely one area that I'm growing and maturing. It's the next level of that maturity for me.
For sure, and I'm actually learning that too on the journey that I'm on right now. Learning trusting the process, not overdoing it. Really staying to the plan so I can be back even better than I was before.
Yeah, because society and everyone is it's an immediate culture. It's instant. You're getting content all the time, and you want your results right now.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that when I went through those recoveries as well, that were basically a year long of okay, I have to do all these leg lifts and this and this and this and this. I need to ice 3 times a day, but that doesn't mean I'll get to play tomorrow.
Right.
That doesn't mean I get to play next month.
Right.
And that's really hard.
Oh yeah, you just never know what's gonna be thrown at you.
Yeah.
So never would I thought would I be in this situation. Since I was little, I've never missed a basketball game in my life. So it was very, very humbling for me. Trying to pick up a different role. Going from starting to now I'm on the bench every game, and knowing I will never be able to be back here until next year.
Yeah.
So it was just falling into that role was very hard for me at first, especially coming from home, being on the couch 24/7, and then coming back here having to walk crutch to class. doing all the things like I wasn't doing by myself at home. So like that was like also another big like change for me.
I can imagine. So tell us a little bit about that. What was your initial recovery stages like?
Okay, so I got my surgery on December 20th. Tore it on November 29th. That's how long it took me to get surgery. So I got my surgery, went very well. Actually, I was in there for a lot longer than I thought because one of the tendons rolled all the way down to the back of my knee.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that was like crazy. So it was only supposed to be a 2-hour surgery, turns into a 6-hour surgery. And so after that, I wake up, I'm feeling fine, like nothing crazy. And I got my surgery here. My parents drove up here so that the school could like help me out with like figuring out a doctor. Then I got my surgery, went back home, couldn't shower by myself. That was like
that's humbling.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like your easy task turned into like the hardest thing you've probably ever done in your life.
Yeah, like going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or like
because I literally got the surgery right on like the line of my like butt cheek. So like sitting down on the toilet, like couldn't do that. Showering, couldn't like wash myself by myself, and like just like stuff like that. It was just like, wow, like this is like what I'm doing right now. Like, you know, like, and I had to adjust to that very quickly because at first I was frustrated. I would like get mad, like, Mom, I can do it myself. Like, you know, and then I get there and I'm like, I can't. I literally can't. So it was just like a lot in that area. So then after that, I was on the couch for about a month, and then I came back here January 13th. And surprised you guys. That was fun. I was so excited to be back. Like seeing you guys like just like honestly changed like my mood because I was like not around anybody. Like it was literally me and my cat like vibing it out. So coming back and like seeing you guys and like seeing you guys play, like that also like motivated me. Like this is where I'll be if I keep, you know, sticking to what I'm doing, like just staying locked in. So that happened, and then I crutched for about 4 months, I want to say.
Which is insane.
Insane.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever been on crutches, but the longest I've been on crutches is a month.
Yeah. And
that was a lot. And you also had that whole contraption too.
Yeah, I had a lovely little thing, went around my waist and then like locked here. So I really couldn't move either on top of it. On crutching, couldn't put any weight on the ground at the beginning. So then, I also forgot to say I had a seizure when I was home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
just a small detail.
It's a minor thing I left out. Like that was insane. I got my stitches removed and had a full-blown seizure. So that was also like very scary, very. I don't know. It was just, I was going through a lot during that 1 month after. And they always, like, they said that 6 weeks is the worst, like, that first 6 weeks. And man, was it. Like, man, was it the worst 6 weeks of my life. But then after finally, like, I was still on crutches, but then I could finally put a little bit of weight on my foot and, like, walk. Then I started doing PT, but it wasn't really like anything crazy. It was more like massaging around the area, trying to like do little things, like nothing crazy. And then I would say like it started to pick up more this month. So like I'm starting to be able to bike. I'm starting to no brace. I can walk. Like, and after that, like after I got rid of the crutches, like I was solid. I'm like, this will be easy from here. Like I literally just did the hardest part. Like it's going to be easy from here. And like having that mindset has also helped me. Cause like now I'm like, I literally crutched from 4 months. Like doing this is going to be cake, you know? And now I'm already at 3 months at post surgery and
it's fine.
It's fine. I get a run next month.
Yay.
Yeah.
She had to run today.
I did almost get hit by a car. I did. Gotta love Chicago. But I'm just testing my luck, you know? Like, I can finally, like, do something. I'm like, I'm acting crazy. Not too much. Yeah.
But how do you think going through that makes you appreciate now the little things? Like,
oh my goodness. Like, I've told my mom how much I love her every day.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Because I'm like, you have no idea. Like, if I would have not went home, I don't know where my mind would be at.
Yeah.
I don't know where my mind would be at because my two parents helped me out so much, like so much. And I tell her every day, like, even like coming back, like I came back, I feel like a lot earlier than I was supposed to.
Yeah.
So then I had to start showering and doing all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I literally had a mental breakdown because I'm like, wow, like I didn't realize how much my parents were like really doing for me until like I get back here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. Yeah, laundry. Oh my gosh, I had piles on piles. So I'm like, I literally cannot do this.
I got to go to the cafeteria.
Yeah, got to get some bananas.
I like to like take the fruit when I go sometimes, but
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's another thing I appreciate too. Like coming back here and having like, you know, feeling like welcomed, like I never left, you know, like that was nice. Like
for sure.
For like having like that love fall right back where I like left off. Even though I was gone for a month, like that's a long time to be gone, like from a team that you're with.
We missed you.
Oh, it was so weird. It was so weird. Like I was so excited to be back, but
we postponed our Christmas party until like January something.
We did.
So that was fun. It was like a delayed Christmas. But yeah, I just think being in that situation gave me so much perspective after coming back. Like, it made me have perspective, like when conditioning was hard or when things were hard. That man, I wished I could have done conditioning. You know?
Oh yeah.
I wished I could have been yelled at when I was on that sideline. I just remember how hard it was. Like the first game, because I had to sit my entire senior year of high school, and I didn't know when I was going to school, and it was COVID. So it was very weird.
Oh, that's hard for sure.
Well, like I just remember that first game when I came back. It was I went home and I was just in tears. It was so hard to sit, you know, and just like you said, to know that you don't even have a chance to remember them. But I just lost my train of thought.
No, you're good.
But gosh, I really lost it.
No, I hear what you're saying for sure. Like, it's just like a whole different role. And like for two people that like are so dedicated to the game, it's like not being able, like all you gotta do is cheer is like, wow. Or like watching like the games, it was like, man, I would like do anything to be out there. Like anything. It was like so hard for me. So hard for me. Because I've never missed a game like my whole entire life of playing. I know. And I'm like, of course. It could have been my wrist. It could have been, you know, something small. But like, But I will say, like, even though it's not like was not like a great experience, would never do it again. I will say, like, I learned so much from it.
Right, and that was what I was going to say. That even though it was so hard to be around the team, and it was so hard to sit at the games, and it was so hard to show up to practice some days. Not so hard to show up to practice, but it was hard to be sidelined.
I mean, it's hard when you're waking up to not be able to do anything to like help yourself. Like for me, it was like I'd wake up, go sit in practice, go sit in class. Like I could never, like it was never like anything interactive for me because I'm like, oh, I'm doing the same thing in every situation I'm in. Like I go to practice, sit, go to class, sit, come home, lay in bed. Like, because I can't do anything else. Like,
but even in that like struggle of being so hard to be there, I think it was really healthy for me to be there too, because the difference of being at home and being in the camaraderie of the team is just very different. And I think it's really healthy because it helped me, and I'm sure you could say the same, with like focusing my attention elsewhere. Because when I was by myself, I would get swamped and I would be drowning in these thoughts. You know? And I would sometimes read or pick up other activities that would help me, distract myself or maybe grow from it or reflect. But after so much self-reflection, you got to get out there and talk to people. You got to be in it.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I became a big gamer.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about that.
I'm a big Fortnite player. Like my sister's boyfriend gave me like a gaming system that he wasn't using
for your surgery.
Yeah, it was like right around the same time. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on here and try to figure. And now, like, I'm addicted. Like, I can't stop playing the game. Like, I feel like a man. Like, I'm like, hold on, I'm playing the game right now.
No, she got some of our teammates on it too.
I did. Kinsia, Keys, Tasia, but she's not here with us anymore. But like, I love still having like a connection like that. Like, you guys want to get on the game? Like,
that's just how our team is, though. Like,
yeah.
If you, it could be the wildest idea, and people
tell
us about it. Like, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, we be doing our thing on there for sure.
Yeah,
we do.
But I think that it is somewhat like, even in being home, it was somewhat like an opportunity to do other things.
Oh yeah.
Give your mind a rest. Because
no
one asks for that mid-season, but
it's like a lot of people think, like, everybody thinks it, but it's like, we can't really say that, like, we got games, like, we got things to do, so it's like, yeah, for sure, like, it was like a blessing in disguise, like, definitely not what I wanted to happen, but it's like, the stuff I took from it was very, like, helpful, like, don't take stuff for granted because you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah, and building and having that time, and building that bond with your parents. That's underrated too. Because I was the same way. I was like, man, I just want to go to my room because my room's upstairs.
That's what mine was. I was on the couch looking up there like, dang.
I like
I'm already going. The first time I tried to do my hair, I was like, what are you doing? Coming back down. Like, I just was looking for my cat. That's all. Yeah, I know. I do miss my girl. Because, like, she always, like, knows, like, my room is upstairs. So, like, she would be laying up there, and I'm like, girl, come down here. Like,
I think she helped you through.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like she almost, like, knew I was hurt. Like,
animals are really smart.
Oh, yeah. She would always lay right on my leg. Yeah, it was like cool. Even my parents are like, it's so weird, like how she knows, like, you're hurt. Like, and it was like anything I did, I went to get up to go to the bathroom. Here she would come and like check on me, and then we'd walk back out. Like, it was very nice having her. I feel like if I did, like, even just without the injury, like having her, like coming home to her after a long day, it's just like very like peaceful,
Yeah, for sure. I think it's not talked about enough what pets bring.
Oh yeah, I know you love your doggy.
I know you love
that good boy.
But he senses things for sure.
Oh yeah,
and he's the same way. He'll follow. He already follows me. I feel like because I take him on walks and do all these things for him. But when I was going through it as well, like if you're crying, your cat's right there. Like,
she's like, girl, what's she doing? We don't have time for this. I'm like, you're right. Let me walk in.
Aww.
Yeah.
I wish I was allergic to cats.
I know. Every time you come over, you're petting and wash some hands.
Yeah, really. But I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. So
yeah, I feel like you do fine, and like you don't say anything once you leave.
Yeah. I've got
maybe we should test it, like your peanut allergy.
On the same day, test my peanut allergy.
Oh, maybe.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, that would not be fun for me.
Well, peanut allergy has gone down though.
I know.
But
come on, Nutella. Come on, Nutella.
That one's hazelnut. That one's
I know.
But peanut butter's next.
Yeah,
we'll see. It came from like 48.
I feel like it's like the
20s.
most like known one,
Yeah,
like
it's always been like off the charts.
Yeah.
But I guess just bringing it back, what were like some of the other main things that you learned? Like even things that you wouldn't typically, or you wouldn't have anticipated that you learned.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing that I personally took, like basketball wise, is like watching everybody play and seeing how they respond to certain situations and knowing in my head, like, I know I've done that. And, like, seeing how it looks on them. I'm like, okay, like, maybe approach it in a different way next time because, like, that's, like, the biggest thing I took. Like, being able to, like, reflect off my teammates and say, like, oh, wow, like, I know I've done that. Like, and did I look like that? Like, I hope, you know, like, like, that was, like, a big, big thing that I took from that. And, like, that's not really something, you know, like, I feel like that would be the main thing. But it was, like, being able to sit back and, like, watch everybody. It was, like, very, like, okay, like, I definitely see, like, frustration. Yeah, for sure. And, like, that made me, like, realize, okay, like, maybe next time, like, we're good. You know, like how Coach says, like, clap it out, like, when you make a mistake. Like, that's really, like, I really did, like how he said that because it's...
I did, too.
Yeah.
Keys were talking about that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
On the podcast with her, but what did he call it? And he called it NBA.
Yeah.
So it was like next best action.
Yeah.
So
you miss a layup, clap it out.
What that was like right away after a mistake. It's like your mistake response is quickly clapping. What I talked about with Keys was like there was a camp that I went to and they said like, you know, you make a mistake and you like clap one
like,
time.
Yeah, like dang, yeah.
But instead doing a double clap. Because it's like, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the same vibe as that next best
Yeah.
action. That was something that helped me a lot. So
I did like that.
Habit. You know, it's not just like, oh, let me just not solve. Let me get on to the next one. It's like, no, we're here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's like what I realized, like sitting out, like helped me like, okay, like I do like that because I'm watching how other people are responding to like a missed layup or a turnover. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that is beneficial because I am seeing it for myself. Like, yeah, there is like change that does need to be done. So it was like, that was like the main thing that I noticed, like sitting out like that was something I can work on too. And then what was the...
Just other things you learn.
Okay, yeah.
Or things you learn, you know?
Yeah. I would say, like, I'm not, like, a very patient person. Like, I have ADHD bad. I've had it since I was young. So, like, I like to always, like, you know, like, being productive. Doing something. Like, if I'm laying in bed, I'll get, like, a burst. I'll just start cleaning my room. Like, out of nowhere. I'm like, that is insane. But
I always call it productive rest. Like, you know, I could rest. Be productive.
No, literally. So, like, that was, like, a thing that I had to learn. Like, even through this, like physical therapy process, I'm like, okay, I feel like personally I can go more, but I'm like, you, like, he knows what he's doing. Trust him. Like, be patient. Like he said, fast walk. What am I? I'm a fast walk. Like, you told me I could fast walk. I'm a fast walk now. Like, so it was just like stuff like that. Like being able to like follow the plan, because I'm not a very structured person, like at all. Like I go with the flow. So like being able to follow that like structured thing, like, and this month you can do this, and this month you will be able to do this. Like that was a struggle for me because I'm like, okay, well I feel like I can do it now, but like I had to realize like don't, like you're on like you're gonna get there. It was just like being patient. So, like that was like another thing like I really had to like lock in with too.
For sure, because if you're not patient, you'll probably drive yourself crazy trying to get through it. Yeah. But it's kind of counterintuitive because you think that if you're always doing things, you're used to the structure, you know? But instead, you're very like, go with the flow, but the flow is always flowing. You know? Like, the flow is always going. That ADHD's got me, like, I'm going. Like, I am. No, that's real for sure. And I think there's probably things that you haven't even learned yet because you're still on this journey, on this process. Yeah. There's probably things you won't even learn until years down the line. Right. You're reflecting back. Because that's how, that's how I think. Because, you know, that's kind of how this podcast was inspired. It's like things that I went through so long ago. And I'm like, wow, people, you know, there might be someone listening to this that tears their hamstring completely through and has never heard anyone else doing it. Yeah. And now your voice. And that's what's, that's what's with me. Like, knowing, like, I really don't know anybody that has done this. And, like, my cousin's a physical therapist never had even seen the brace I had on. So it was like,
knowing like that is like very like, okay, like this is obviously something that like not many people experience. So it's like, how can I personally like make the best out of like what I'm going through? Like it's not the most fun, not like trying to, you know, be able to walk again, being able to run. Like those are like things that like you do as a young child. You learn to walk. Mm-hmm. So it's like learning to walk again. Like
it's humbling.
It's humbling.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're learning things, you're having to get through mm-hmm. it. But at the same time, it almost makes you like a diamond. You know what I mean? Because mm-hmm. now you're almost an expert voice in this area that mm-hmm. is really uncharted for a lot of people. And I'm sure like that was really hard for me because it is so uncertain, and it's so unknown, it is so, you know, scary. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's so unpredictable.
Because I didn't know like what was surgery going to be like after this, because I literally did not know. Like I had no idea. So it was just like when I wake up, like what am I going to be feeling? Like am I like, how am I going to be able to do this? How am I going to do that? And like that's another thing that I've learned, like being able to like realize like more so like, yeah, you can't walk now, but like thinking like ahead, like I'm already doing stuff that like the doctors didn't think I'd be doing now. You know, like walking, that is insane. Like I literally tore my whole hamstring. Like that's your main component to walk, right? So I'm already like walking, and I'm already like starting to try to like do like little things in PT where it like looks like I'm like trying to run, like the act of running, and like just doing stuff like that. It's like more like, okay, you're not as far behind as you think you are, like than everybody else. Yeah. And that's like what I've been like struggling with, like coming into the season next year, like we were talking about at the beginning. It's like I'm so far behind you guys. Like you're in the weight room, you're lifting, you're getting strong, you're doing this, and I'm still trying to figure out how to walk. Mm-hmm. You know, like so it's just learning to like just be patient and see like where you guys are in the weight room, like just trying to like, okay, if I keep doing this, like I'll be right back to where I am. It's just gonna take me a lot. And like even in my like post interview, like at the end of the year, he was like that they're already gonna be here and you're gonna be here, and it's like that is true. But I've already came this far in 3 months. What can I do all summer? You know, like I have so much time to like be right back to where I was. Yeah. And that's why I don't want to like have like a look as like, okay, she's injured, like we gotta be careful with her. Like when I get back. Like I don't want that. Like I want to be treated like how I was before I got hurt. You know, like
and it's what we talked about earlier, not being half going.
Yeah.
Anything, you know? Like, I'm here, I'm cleared, mm-hmm. which means I'm cleared.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you might not feel weird at first.
Yeah.
Because it took me, I would say, like 2 years for my knee to feel normal, but I got cleared at 8-10 months, mm-hmm. you know? But also just, even when you're talking about walking and stuff, it kind of proves like the body is so incredible. Mm-hmm. And to think that you could completely tear a muscle group, and now you're back to walking like centuries ago, even probably decades ago, that wouldn't have been, there would be no chance for you.
My shout out to my surgeon, like
Dr. Co.
Dr. Co. Shout out to you, because he did get me right. Like I have had, like even when I'm doing like PT, he's like, "Does that bother you?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, did you even tear? Like he even like will make jokes like I didn't even tear my hamstring. He's like, how far I really am. And like hearing even shout out to Brad, the PT physical therapist, shout out to you, because like he is so like motivating. Like I do something, he's like, that looks great, like you're doing amazing. Like, or after I'm done like with everything, he'll be like, good work today, like I'll see you Wednesday. Like, and
you need that.
Oh yeah.
People need that when they're going through
Oh yeah. And it's just like the littlest compliment. Like you're getting a lot lower, or like you can bend 90 degrees now. Like it's just like hearing those little things. It's like I couldn't even walk. Like I was literally laying on my couch, not being able to feel anything in my leg. And now I'm walking and doing all these little things that he's having me doing. And it's just like, I feel like I'm becoming more of like so much more positive out of this, like hearing the little things that he says. It's just like, thank God, like that I'm back to where I am. Like, even though it's not like where I was, it's like 3 months and I'm doing all this, like I'll take it, you know?
You can wear an outfit without the braids.
Oh yeah. That was another thing. Like I didn't even want to go hang out with my friends. Like when my sister had her birthday, like I literally was such a bum. Like I felt so bad. Like I literally was like, I don't want to be here. Because that was before I even had surgery. So
that's hard. I kind of remember that.
Yeah. And I do feel bad for that, but it was like I was so and I was just so drained. Like I still don't know what's wrong with me, and that was around the same time I didn't know what was wrong. So like I was stuck, like, and I was so wrapped up, like I could not get my mind off. Like I know I did something, like I know something is wrong with my hamstring, and like that's all I would ever think about. So like sitting at the dinner table, I'm just like, I need to go. Like I want to go home. Like
that's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah.
So with all that, with the things that you've learned, the things that you're looking forward to, but also uncertain with, what do you think like your approach is gonna be? From the time now, like are there things that you're thinking about outside the box of like, oh, maybe I can get better this way? Are you just going with the flow of how it is, or what's kind of
mine's more of like, I'm not even looking at it like I have an injury. I'm more looking at it like, oh, I'm just doing a workout like with this guy, like every time I go to PT, I'm like, it's challenging stuff. Like, so I don't even look at it as like I'm injured. Like I look at it as like, I'm going to be fine. Like I have all summer. I will be running before I even go home for summer. So it's just like, I am not worried at all. I'm so ready to be back and like show like how a big injury can turn into something so great. Like
that's great advice for someone, because I think most people do, and I don't think it's even everyone's fault, but like if you have something that's even something like not as obvious as what you have, it's easy to like hyper fixate on that thing. And one thing I remembered my physical therapist doing was, when I had like a knee surgery or something, they would be like, say we were doing step ups, they would be like, okay, go right leg or left leg. They would not say bad leg, good leg, because it's a mindset. This is a bad leg, this is a bum leg. And I never wanted to get into that mindset. My knee gets irritated sometimes, but it's not a bad knee. It's just been through a lot.
She still works.
She's still working hard.
Like, no, for real. So, like, that's just what I feel like I've always thought so, like, at the beginning, I thought so negative about this, that like, now that I'm doing these things, I'm like, I'm not hurt. Like, I'm going to be perfectly fine next year. Like, I am not worried. Like, I know what to expect in preseason, so I'll be working my butt off all summer. Like, I know what to expect, so it's like, there's no reason for me to stress about those things when like I already know what's coming at me, and like I know I'll be able to run before I even go home. So it's just like what is there to worry about? Like I'll be right there with y'all, running that mile.
It's gonna be these things, but also I think part of it is you've been through this time of it being so uncertain that anything that's coming, that's unknown, uncertain, can't even
phase me.
Joy, and that's so in the micro of, oh, this game they threw this at me, and that's in the macro of, oh my gosh, this big event happened and threw coach off, or this happened to my teammate, or this happened and our game's postponed, or like things that you might not see coming that would really affect you. Is like so small to what you just have to go through,
for sure. And that's like, that's why I say it's like a blessing in disguise. I've learned so much about myself, like so much about myself, like being by myself at home, and like just like realizing like, you don't always have to be like sad or, upset. Like there's no room for that, especially when you're trying to recover. There's no like room for like you to be negative because it's already such a negative situation that you're in, you know? So it's just like, why add more to the fire? Like,
right. And there's no one that told us, oh, this happened and you have to be sad, or this happened and you have to be happy. You know, it's just something we learn from being around people. So I think also like, who you're around, what you're listening to, what you're like putting energy into matters a lot. You know, like things you repost on Instagram that they're usually always encouraging. Or promoting yourself, or still thinking yourself highly. You know, being in that mindset. And I'm not saying you're like always, because there's always highs and lows. For sure. Too. But are there like things you do on a daily, or like do you have any sort of routines, like even when you were in the thick of being really immobile, like you know, if somebody else is going through this and they're in that, because I remember like when I was very immobile, I was like searching, like it wasn't as widespread at the time. You know, basketball player ACL injury, like workouts or things to do, and it wasn't a lot, and I'm sure there's not any of yours. So
because it's like, it's such, like you said, it's such a big, like your leg, you don't realize how much you need this leg, like, or how much you really need that muscle in there. Like people will get surgeries on their knee and they'll take it from their hamstring because it's already so big, like it's strong. So it was like not having that was like, oh wow, you know. But I really didn't do much, but like at the beginning I would tell, like, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like, I just want to lay here. And my parents were really big on like, let's go out to eat. Like, let's go eat your favorite restaurant. Like having them like I said, was definitely like the biggest like thing that helped me, because they like got me out and did things that I would have never did if I was here recovering. Like never. I would have rotted in my room if I was here.
I mean, partially just because you couldn't really go.
I couldn't.
It's scary. It's like safety too. Like
for sure.
Your crutch slipped on the snow. It was really cold. I was scared for you to come to practice some days because it was so slick.
There was some times where I definitely looked like Frozen out there on that ice. Like I was battling. Like, and I had crutches, so my thing was like, like it was just like, this is insane. But like I said, I always made it into something funny. Like I'm not gonna make it negative. Like, do I want to be crutching in the snow? No. But when I get there, I'll be sure to tell you guys I almost busted my butt while walking here. Like, cause I was like, why not make it funny? Like, you know, like, it's frustrating. I can't just walk to the gym like everybody else. I'm gonna give you a little show while I'm going. like that's
you don't have to look at me.
Literally. So
I think laughter and humor helps people get through stuff all the time. Like definitely underrated.
That's why I was trying to get back here so fast. Like just like to be around you guys again, like, and realize that, you know, I'm not alone. I'm not. It's not just my parents that have my back. It's my coach was at my whole entire surgery, and I was in there from 9 a.m. till 6 hours after that. So it was like just like knowing like people care, people are wanting you to be back. Like we're not upset like at you. Like that was like my biggest thing. Like what could I have done like differently to not get injured in the last 30 seconds of a basketball game? And there's nothing I could have done. Nothing.
And you were just put in a bad position.
So like I said, there's no reason to be negative. Like it happened. Why be it? You know, like it's frustrating. Like I could have had 2 years of basketball, and now I only have 1 year. So like it's frustrating, but like it happened. What can I do about it?
And maybe it's protecting you from something that would have happened that second year, a job that you wouldn't have gotten that you're gonna, you know, go into and be really happy. That type of thing. You just never know how things are setting you up in the future or for the future. So I guess closing up, how, like, for somebody that's going through a hamstring tear, for somebody that's going through any injury or even any like situation that's really uncertain, really frustrating, how, like, what would be your main advice for that person?
My advice is like we've always talked about in this, like, this whole time, was you expect the unexpected. Like, you're gonna have things. You're not gonna like your boss. You're not gonna like this, you're not gonna like that, but it's how you handle your situation. Like that's the main thing. Like I said before, there's nothing I can do about it now. You know, if I get fired from a job, I can't pout about it. You know, wipe it off. Next job. Same with this. Like there's nothing I can do about tearing my hamstring. Let's repair it and let's keep it pushing, and I'll be back. And, you know, like I'll definitely be back. And that's like my mindset. Like I said, I don't like how I went out, and I knew from the jump, like after that injury, because I was, like I said, I was deciding whether I want to come back. After that injury, I was coming back for sure, because like that, it's just like that is so annoying that like it makes me want to turn around and be like, okay, well, if you want me to be out because of this, just wait until like I'm back. Like that's just like the main thing, like just accepting like that something bad happened to you, and yeah, it's gonna hurt and it's gonna suck and it's gonna definitely drain you, but it's how you come out on the other side of the mountain.
Because you couldn't control what happened, but you can control how you did in PT today for the most part. Like you control your effort in PT, you can control your mindset, you can control being still engaged with the team and being active on the bench. You can control that you're learning from these things and becoming more patient.
And in PT, like when you are going through physical therapy, like you can start, you know, stepping up higher. Yeah. I'm here for it. Like let's do it. Like if I can do this, like I said, in that short amount of time, like don't get discouraged. Like there's gonna be things that get in your way, and that's just life. Like life is going to life, and it's just how you handle situations. And if I think, like I said, this hamstring tear is nothing compared to like what it's going to be like when I'm on my own in life. You know, like this is the least probably of my worries and that I'm going to face through life, you know? So I don't know. I just feel like just don't take stuff for granted, you know? Like if you have it, do what you can with it. If you don't, try your best to get back to where you were, you know?
Because at the end of the day, I believe that if you don't cheat yourself, like, you know, I can't go play that. If you can't go play basketball on a given day, but you push yourself a little bit up in weight, that's something that not everyone's going to know. But I feel like within yourself, you know that you're giving your best every single day. So however it turns out, whatever happens, you can't look back and have regret. And I think things always work out. If you're giving your best, things always are going to work out. Even if it's not like exactly how you planned, you know?
And have a good support group. That's another big rule. Like if I didn't, like I said, I don't know how I would be right now. I don't. Like having a team, having my parents, having my sister, like just doing the most for me. It's like, it really helped me, you know, like realizing it's not as bad as I think it is.
Like look around, you have these wonderful people around you. Not everyone has that. You know? And just, I think, like we mentioned earlier, maybe that time was really nice too. You know, like looking back, like the time with you're really close with your sister, and parents and everything. So, also wanted to show off the shirts.
Yeah.
We're wearing blue today.
Y'all better tap in.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up. I'm gonna be posting it on the Live with Grace podcast Instagram.
With your shirt.
You'll probably see it on everyone's Instagrams and things being reposted. I'm gonna try to get the word out with that, but still working on setting up the shop. Hopefully, it'll be set up by the time this podcast comes out. And what's your Instagrams and social media handles? I'm gonna put them in the description as well.
My Instagram is Brilan, BRILAN _Ray with 3 E's, RAEEE.
Okay, we got the spelling.
Yeah, so and then I don't really have any, like, you could just put them in there, but like, yeah, I don't really have it, but thank you for having me. This is so fun. I've been looking forward to it. So. Yeah,
it's been long overdue, but I think it came in good timing because I think that
I got to learn a lot more. Yeah. For sure.
How this conversation had it happened a lot earlier.
Yeah.
So thank you all for listening.
Yeah,
I hope
you
that
guys.
This speaks to someone, whether you're going through something of this degree or not. I hope that it helps you. I hope that it helps you gain some perspective. I know Brilan's an incredible person. I'm glad you guys got to learn some from her. You should definitely give her a follow and tune in for our senior year. It's gonna be a movie. Oh yeah, you'll see us. You'll see us.
For sure.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next episode on the Live with Grace podcast. How long do you think that was?
I don't know. I flipped off the camera at the end for you.
Thanks.